This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, they cover me show, Taz-Mania. Who's that? Who's that?
Joel, who is your favorite Looney Tune?
It's not a popular one, Andrew.
Ooh, can I guess?
Yes.
Sylvester.
No.
Okay. Elmer Fudd?
Nope.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Nope. But he's a good one. I like Foghorn.
The Chicken Hawk? Is it the Chicken Hawk?
No.
Who then?
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner's like one of the most popular.
Is he?
Oh yeah, dude. He had a video game.
Okay. I feel like everyone I always talk to, it was either Bugs, Daffy, or Taz. That's it.
That's true. Those are the big three.
Yeah. What about you? Who's your favorite Looney Tune?
My favorite Looney Tune?
Yep.
Marvin the Martian.
Oh, he's a good one.
Marvin the Martian's one of my favorites.
He's a good one.
Now, I don't think... what is this? Is this the first Wednesday in July when this is coming out, or the second one?
Second.
Okay. Well, I know of exactly 3 Looney Tunes shows, so we can just knock them all out.
Okay.
Starting with Taz-Mania.
All right.
And, but before we knock them all out, week by week, let's cover that theme song.
Let's hit it.
Welcome to a land that's way under, down under. The sky's always yellow in rain or shine.
Down in Tasmania, come to Tasmania.
When Topsy meets Tubby, they start to spin like a Tasmanian devil and his closest kin.
Down in Tasmania, come to Tasmania.
Mom's alive, why her dad's no bump on a log. Molly's all fired up while Jake plays with the dog.
Down in Tasmania, come to Tasmania.
Didgeridingo and Wendell T. Wolf. Prentice ex-bush lad is never uncouth. Bushwhacker Bob and his mother gold mum. Constance and Dick Litt.
This is when they start using
Gator and Axel are always left sore. If you have a deal, just call Buddy Moore. The platypus brawlers are backing them out. The Kiwi, the bush rats, haven't left anyone out.
I think one of the jokes of this show is they had to add so many characters in order to make this work.
Yeah.
So that's why, I think it's funny. Like, they're like, how many of these fuckers are they gonna name for the theme song ends? And then
it is funny, but it is one of those things like halfway.
It's long. Yeah,
I'm just like,
long.
Okay, so they are literally just gonna introduce
everybody
in this,
and
intro.
It doesn't help that, like, you know how sometimes when a show reaches syndication, they shorten up the theme song.
Yep.
They do not do that.
No.
So if you watch Taz Mania, you're going to hear them name everybody every time.
Andrew, this thing had like 65 episodes.
They did. It's crazy.
You had to hear that 65 times.
This was before the skip intro era.
The pain.
So it's just like
the pain. What would you give it, Andrew?
Oh yeah, right. I don't know. I'd give it about a 7. It's fun.
I was gonna give it a 6. To me, it starts off good. They lose me with the naming of it, but I mean, it's a okay cartoon intro. It was so. This is pretty interesting. This was called "Come to Tasmania." It was by Jess Hornell and Jim Cummins.
Yeah, he's the one who sings the "Come to Tasmania." Yep. You can hear it.
You can.
You listen. You watch enough of these cartoons. You can pinpoint Rob Paulson, Phil LaMarr, Jim Cummings, Maurice LaMarche. which you can just, and however they disguise your voice, you're like, I know who that is.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So how did this get made, Joel? How did we get a Taz-Mania cartoon?
So, Andrew, there was another Looney Tunes-esque show that was coming out around this time that might have been a little popular. Maybe you've heard of it, called Tiny Toon Adventures.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, Tiny Toons Adventures came out. That blew up in popularity. And Fox was basically like, yo, we got to get in on this, Tiny Toons adventure. So they partnered with Warner Brothers to produce a animated sitcom based off of the Tasmanian Devil.
Arguably the best and worst character to be the star of a sitcom.
Yes. Why make it like a sitcom? I don't know.
I have a ton of questions about Taz, like Taz-Mania, like why the choices were what they were.
Oh, it would be fascinating to pick the brain of Gene McCarty and Tom Ruger, who they made this basically.
Okay,
because I'll go and tell you, it's an interesting concept. Like I agree with you. Taz is like the best and worst pick because, like, for me, there's so much you can do with this because Taz really, he didn't have much of a character in Looney Tunes.
He was a beast.
Yeah, that's it. Like, so the possibilities were endless to kind of go with. But basically, they decided that they was going to do this with Warner Brothers. So it went into production, first released on September 7th, 1991, ran for 65 episodes, I think a grand total of 4 seasons, and there was mini segments in the episodes, so they had a total of 121 segments for that. Finally ended in 1995, but I mean, that's really it, Andrew. There wasn't a lot of history besides just Fox.
Well, Taz was the most popular one outside of Bugs and Daffy.
Yes.
It was like Bugs, Daffy, Taz, and then proto alt girls love Tweety Bird. Are proto girls that eventually wore Cookie Monster pajama pants to high school.
Yep.
That was their character.
Chances are, if you like Tweety Bird, you are on this. You're just the other side of the same coin, and on the other side of the. I don't know why I said it like that. If you like Tweety Bird, you fit in with the character, the people that love Tinkerbell.
Yes. Oh, yes. I was going to say, like, if you're a Disney adult who acted that way, you're Tinkerbell. If you loved Looney Tunes, you're Tweety
Exactly.
Bird.
You're the same people. You guys are the same coin,
same person.
Just the different sides of the same coin. That's it.
Just one bad decision away from meth or fentanyl overdose.
I'm so glad.
Buy them.
I'm so glad you said
buy them little strips. Test your stuff because it's out there. It's a real epidemic. So, and you young lady are definitely gonna be, your percentage risk is way up there.
And if you're listening to us and if you're thinking, you know what, Tweety Bird or Tinkerbell are my favorite characters, then really ask yourself, have you ever either tried hard drugs or really wanted to? Because chances are it's there.
You've definitely done cocaine with baby laxatives. I'll give you that fucking much.
You've been screaming inside of a mall about Sora from Kingdom Hearts, haven't you?
Check our extended subscribe to our Patreon and learn about why that's a reference in our extended audio.
But that's it, Andrew. Hit us with the voice actors.
Okay, so here's the deal. It's basically all the big wigs of voice acting are here, and all of them voiced a ton of characters.
Just do
so we're gonna
like there.
we'll
one
do
character.
a few.
That's it.
I'll do like if they got a bunch, I'll name just a few, and then we'll go from there. But just know that it's a lot more.
Yep.
All right. So the voice cast for Taz-Mania is Jim Cummings is Taz, Bushwhacker Bob, Wendell T. Wolf, Buddy Bohr, and Chief Felton. Rob Paulson is Timothy Platypus, Axel, Didgeridingo, Francis X, and Bush Lad. Maurice LaMarche is Hugh Tasmanian Devil, Daniel Platypus, Drew Tasmanian Devil, Willie Wombat. Marion Flynn is Jean Tasmanian Devil, Jane Allgood. Kelly Martin is Molly Tasmanian Devil, her only credit.
Okay.
Debbie Derryberry is Jake Tasmanian Devil, Baby Bird, Heather. And finally, Dan Castellaneta is Mr. Thickley, Dr. Duck Breath, Mysterious Guy, and News Anchor.
Mr. Thickley. Oh boy.
Yeah, man.
Hey there, Mr. Thickley.
Mr. Thickley. Are you trying to do Luann?
Kind of.
I know my wife can do a really good Luann,
really?
but only saying Buckley. She can't it's kind of like how only I can do Arnold Schwarzenegger if I go but like she can just do Buckley as Luann.
That's hilarious.
Very well. For our other works, we have Jim Cummings is Taz in Multiverses. The new
What an easy one, Andrew. Hey,
yeah,
Jim
you
Cummings.
goddamn
Taz.
right. What? The man has been voice acting for like 70 years. Excuse me for giving a softball. Rob Paulson is Seymour in The Loud House.
Okay.
Maurice LaMarche is Wile E. Coyote and Bye Bye Bunny, a Looney Tunes musical. I'll have to
What?
watch that because
Bye Bye
they
Bunny.
gave him a voice. That must be something new because it says 2024.
Oh, that.
Marion Flynn is Cousin Catherine in National Lampoon's Vacation.
Like the Chevy Chase?
Yeah, the one with Chevy Chase,
Ooh.
yeah. Kelly Martin is Lucy Knight in ER. Debbie Derryberry is Jimmy Neutron in Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. And finally, Dan Castellaneta, he's Homer. He's Homer Simpson. He was Earthworm Jim, too. We covered
Yep.
Earthworm Jim. Go back and listen to it, even if you listened to it before. So, my big question, why was the dad based off of Bing Crosby and their uncle based off of Bob Hope?
I have.
Did you find any information on that at all?
I did not, Andrew. You actually taught me something. I did not know that that's who they was basing those characters off of.
Yeah, and it's just like so weird. It's like no child is barely any Gen Xer is gonna know who Bing Crosby is. Maybe Bob Hope.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it's just like, he made like a bunch of jokes about golfing and stuff, which is why his the dad in Tasmania is seen with a damn golf clubs all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the best part. Well, the true best part of this, and the reason I think this works is they do not change Taz at all.
He's just like an angsty teenager now.
He's worse than an angsty teen. He's their special needs child because he's the only one without clothes. He's the only one that's nonverbal. Honestly, this could be a pretty good show for put a spotlight on autism because, kind of
no. I get what you're putting down, Andrew. I'm
just
it.
saying for modern times,
for
it's possible.
I think they would probably need to tone Taz down a little bit.
Yeah, if you're gonna say that Taz is autistic, you cannot do what he is doing. So, but I'm just saying, like, maybe in a 90s aspect, if we knew what autism was back then, you could be like, yeah, Taz is autistic coded.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't fucking know. I'm not a doctor or whatever, whoever studies autism, and I'm certainly not the person to fucking don't at me. Or do, actually. If you want to yell at me for this, I'm all ears. We got that form spring thing. You can go to it and yell at me right now.
How dare you?
But his mom's a realtor.
Yep.
Sister is a, valley girl. Kid is his little brother. I think Taz is the eldest child.
I think so. I think that might be right, too. But I don't know why. I mean, I probably didn't even watch a full episode of this, just a bunch of clips, because it is kind of tough to find this. But I never picked up on the fact that he was not wearing clothes and everybody else was.
Yeah, he's the only one that's not dressed. Even in the first episode, it's super funny. They play it pretty well. So in every old Looney Tunes episode of that starred Taz, they would go like it showed like this peaceful meadow in Taz-Mania, and then Taz just rampages through it all.
Yeah.
And they show that exact thing. It's the episode where they get their dog.
Okay, I think that's
their turtle dog.
That's the first one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the very first episode, and that's how they play it. And then like he brings it to his cave, and then like his cave starts showing more modern things like a couch and then TV, and then it shows his mom on the phone like, oh yeah, I've got a house to show. And then he's like, oh Taz, honey, I'm glad you're here. You can help me finish baking these cookies or whatever. It's just like, wait
a minute.
Who are all these people? Well, we know who they all are. They all just got introduced in that 3-minute theme song.
Good luck remembering all of them. There was a pig that looks like to be a banker, some crocodiles in there. I mean...
Oh, so the crocodiles are hunters for the zoo.
Wait, what?
Or a zoo.
What are they putting in the zoo?
Taz. They try to trap Taz. Because there's always characters that want to trap Taz and put him in a zoo.
But he's like people in this show.
A little bit. They're also based off a comedy duo of Laurel and Hardy.
Okay.
Think like Abbott and Costello.
I feel like maybe a lot of these character bases, like all the, old actors that they're basing these characters on, maybe they did that kind of as a way to say, hey, the kids aren't going to get it, but maybe the parents will.
Maybe. But still, I feel like they would be like, why is the dad Bing Crosby? Like, they wouldn't be like, huh, all right, we got a Bing Crosby character. They'd be like, why did they do this?
It was an interesting choice.
A tall glass of OJ is another thing that he would often say.
Hey man, OJ's good for you.
Yeah.
Unless you're a white woman. Yes,
Wow.
I did. Oh.
So the one hard thing about this show to really criticize it is I was not really able to get a lot of episodes to find them. Really, the one that I found the most I found the first one.
Okay.
And that was pretty much it. But I mean, you get Taz for the most part. You put the show is you put Taz in sitcom related scenarios, like he's got a date or he's trying to hide a pet, or he has to learn a lesson. Only it's Taz, and the lesson is never learned because the lesson is always said by Hugh, and it's always so long-winded it literally ends with him going blah 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 yakety schmackety. So that's the joke, is that like it's a sitcom for Taz and he's dumb and he's never going to learn anything.
Yep.
And you know what? To me, that works. I remember watching this when I was younger and liking it, and I actually found the episodes that I did watch, I was able to, it was still pretty funny. Now that I know who a lot of the comedians they reference are, it was a little weird.
Okay, yep.
But
I mean,
and it's like, go ahead.
I like what they was doing with this show. Like,
yeah, I like the concept too. Yeah,
like from the clips I've seen, it looks to be heading in the right direction, you know, but the show must have been popular if it, you know, ran for 4 years.
Ran for 4 years. Well, Taz was popular.
Well, true.
This is height of Taz. It's the height of Taz-Mania. But like, you know, you go to the jockey lot and see those weird 90s Looney Tunes. Flea market for you, those of you above the Mason-Dixon line.
So
but those weird 90s, like in a backwards cap, that are worth like hundreds of dollars today.
Okay, I was telling my wife about this. Andrew, you know what I'm talking about. But the T-shirts where you'll see Taz as like a gang member.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Why? Why did?
Because it was it was the height of urban marketing, Joel. The one thing that companies wanted to do the most in those days, especially the 90s. You know, you had gangster rap was on the rise at that point.
Yeah.
And so like they were like, we have to appeal to the urban. Urban is what they use, but they were like, we got to market to black people, and that is why you have a bunch of those shirts that are that.
Okay.
And then they use Tweety Bird to go to meth-riddled white women. But because there's one with like Sylvester too. Like they knew what they were doing.
I will see those T-shirts still being sold today.
Absolutely.
Why are people still buying these T-shirts?
You can go to a vintage shop locally for us. It's in downtown Greenville.
Okay.
And you can spend like $80 to $90 on one of those shirts. Like I wasn't pulling that number out of my ass. It's a real store. They'll buy clothes from you too. I could probably go to my aunt's closet and make a killing. She had a bunch of those shirts. I just can't tell my uncle why I want those clothes because he's a real money man.
He'll be like, you gotta give me a cut, Andrew.
Yeah, he'll be like, why do you want them so bad? Just nostalgia?
I need like all of them though. And you know, your uncle, you do that to him, he is going to be expecting to see you in those shirts every time he sees you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's gonna like, so
he'll catch on.
It'll be a delicate dance. I'll have to keep one.
Keep 3 so you can change them out.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good Rolodex. That's smart.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get him to give me that Sega Saturn up in his attic for years. He won't do it, and I think he thinks I'm going to sell it, but really I just want to play a game called RoboPit again.
Buy it from him.
Oh my God, he'll want too much. He's gonna look how he's gonna look up how much one costs,
He's gonna be
and
like,
then he's gonna sell. He'll be like, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $200. I'm like, oh, no, Uncle, I'm not gonna buy that from you full price. I already had to buy a full price car from my mother-in-law to sell it to somebody. I'm not getting fucking ripped off twice.
I'll offer him 20. Okay. Offer him 20,
Okay.
but in your mind, be willing to pay him 40.
That's a good plan.
And then
I'll be like, and I'll take those shirts off your hand for free.
there you go. He'll be like, damn, Andrew, you doing me a favor.
You doing me a good service, nephew. Well, Joel, I believe it's time to go to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that are full of Taz-Mania and reviews are full of Taz-Manic. I didn't know what to do with the panic.
So close, Andrew.
So close. Something.
You're like those marathon runners that make it to the...
Taz Dysperia? Is that something?
We'll take it. It's perfect.
Okay.
Taz Dysperia.
There we go. Hey, firing all cylinders once again.
So, Andrew, this is sitting at a 6.7 out of 10.
That makes
out
sense.
of 11,000 ratings.
That makes sense, too.
So, Andrew, there were no reviews for Lowe's stores this week. It seems like this is either you love it or you find it enjoyable. So I'm going to just give you a 10 out of 10 titled Great Underrated Cartoon from the 90s. I used to love watching this cartoon when I was a kid in the early 90s. The intro music is catchy and there was some funny parts in the episodes. I even love the Sega Genesis Taz video games. Good animation and just overall very memorable. I hope a complete series gets released on DVD soon. Cartoons like Taz-Mania was a show I watched when everything in my life was more fun. I miss those days like I never, like I knew I would.
That got sad.
Yeah,
he is right though. That is one thing you'll get from an old school WB show is you'll get quality animation like every time.
WB always did well with their animation.
Yeah, they always did well in the animation department. I feel like Disney didn't do that well with their animated series.
No,
they always went the extra mile in their feature film products, but when they made a series, you could tell like they kind of
to me WB always beat them in their series when it came to animation.
Speaking of the Sega Genesis games, I didn't really play the first one that's based off of the show. I did, however, play the sequel.
Really?
Taz Escapes from Mars. It's so fun to play as Taz in a video game. I wish there was another way to do it other than multiverses, because I don't like multiverses. I just can't get into it. My main criticism with that game is every character feels the same.
There's no weight to the characters.
Yeah, everybody's so floaty.
Yeah,
and that's like I just can't. I can't get into it.
Yeah,
like I don't feel like I'm doing anything. No hit feels like a hit.
Yeah, no, I
that's
playing Super Smash. I get it.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. But yeah, it had like 5 video games.
It had 5? Yeah. I only know of the 2.
Yeah, it had video games. 2 was by Sega, for Sega, and 3 by Sunsoft. 1 for the Super Nintendo and 2 for the Game Boy. Taz was busy in the early 90s.
Taz was popular.
Yep.
Taz is still one of the more popular Looney Tunes. Like, there's never going to be a Looney Tunes project that
doesn't have Taz. Taz will always be there.
We'll never know about that Wile E. Coyote versus Acme thing. Release the cut, you cowards at WB. Just give it to us. But Joel, I believe that wraps up Taz-Mania.
Yep.
Any closing thoughts?
If you can get your hands on the DVDs that were released, or VHS, or you can find it online, give it a shot. From the clips that I've watched.
I found it on Daily Motion,
Yep.
and you can get a free trial to Boomerang if
There
you
you go.
really, really want to watch
Just do that. If you're a Taz fan, watch it.
If you're a classic cartoons fan, you should get Boomerang. We should see if Boomerang would sponsor us.
Hey, we're gonna hate on almost all the shows, but sponsor us.
That's not true. We ended up liking this one. That's not
Hey,
fair. I mean,
Yep.
we are gonna shit on a lot of them.
Yep, true.
Hey, do you want a streaming service full of a bunch of bullshit? Subscribe to Boomerang today.
You remember those cartoons you never watched as a kid? Well, watch them today as an adult. Boomerang.
Actually, I take it back. Instead of supporting Boomerang, you should support us. Go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have the $5 tier that gets you merch sent to your door, extended audio episodes, bonus episodes, and access to our Discord. We have a X handle Cartoon DD. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive on all other social media platforms. If you have a request, you can go to cartoondumpsterdive.com. You can also visit our store. Get a shirt that has a trash can on it. And people will go, why are you wearing that? And they'll be like, this is too much to explain. But try. We need the listeners.
Do your best.
As always, we thank you for a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice. It really helps out the algorithm. And if you're on Spotify, answer the Spotify question. We don't ever change it. It just says, what do you think about this episode? I'll publish it. We had one that said, I don't like this show. All they do is make fun of cartoons. They don't ever talk about the history. And that's only halfway true, because we sometimes do talk about the history, but sometimes there's not a lot to fucking go on.
Yep.
But if you do, we can stay around for almost 4 years like Taz-Mania did.
Yay.
Have a great rest of your week.
See ya.
This has been a Lughole podcast.